Good morning, guys. All right. Bitcoin's gone down a little bit. I don't know if it's done, but we hit our supply, lost momentum, and now we are heading down slowly. What's up, NK? How you doing, man? Trip? What's up? Nomad? First here. I think NK got you beat, buddy. Mike, how you doing? Good morning, Chow. Kill the Solana short. Nice, good job, man. Hope you're feeling better. I am feeling a lot better today. Love you too, bro. Samwise. Whenever I hear Samwise, I feel like I'm in like a little bit of Lord of the Rings skit. Like we're about to go to say Frodo or something. Man, we got Reese, Brett, Flammulated Owl, Sports Zone. What's up? Let's go. Hodl. Yeah. And it's dirty. Good morning, TD Farmer. How you doing, man? Zero up next. Well, hope Zero's not up next. So I'd have no portfolio left. So, all right, so let's go through it. Stop. Good morning. Stop in before heading out the door to the zoo. Oh yeah, you have fun, man. You know, look for a bull or a bear. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's more bearish there than bullish. So, yeah. Stopped out of Solana short yesterday. Got back in for the first real W. Good job, man. Yeah, let's go over Solana for a quick second before we dive into Bitcoin. Like Solana, we got the hourly SFP, right? And we were targeting the low down here. Our stop loss was originally above the wick, and then we evolved it to here. And then I didn't like the buy wall at the point of control. So I moved my stop loss. Here, I'll show the signals here. I moved my stop loss a little bit to the profit zone at 202. And I got stopped out. Some of you guys jumped out. Actually, I should have just yelled to jump out as soon as we got a close above the VWAP and just accepted the small win. And instead of accepting a smaller win, the win I got was the equivalent to basically 10% of my risk. It was pretty darn small. So yeah, it might have been better just to accept this small W once we got here and accepted defeat, because the VWAP is king. And that's why we were so excited when we closed below the VWAP. But the previous point of control, it's also king, I guess. We got a break below it, just here at 198, and now we're at the value area low. But normally this is where I would say, yay, prepare for longs. However, Bitcoin's positioning suggests that we might actually go down lower for Solana. And we do have a demand zone down here. And we do know that there's a bunch of liquidity here from yesterday's analysis at 192.09 or 192.14, sorry. So around here, we can anticipate a potential bounce as we grab the liquidity from below these lows here. It just started to pile up from here. So there's a big pool of liquidity here that could be used for large trade, like large acting traders, to jump in with the least amount of price impact, so they won't get demolished by slippage if they jumped in around this area. Now Bitcoin, this is why I'm feeling like we might not be at the bottom for Solana, where we could get in on a long. Hopefully around here. But the structural positioning, if it were to happen here, I'd feel pretty good about it because we'd have the confluence of hopefully like a lower low, break this level, get the change character, and get above the previous point control all simultaneously, right? And I love it when a change of character provides simultaneous reactions, like for example, break above the VWAP if the VWAP was resting here, or the point of control, or acceptance into a valley area. Like having simultaneous acceptance all at once is pretty awesome. And if you're trading on like the 5-minute, every third candle is a 15-minute candle close. So if you have like a 5-minute change of character and it happens to also give you a multi-time frame change of character, like on the 15-minute, and it's even better. But again, I'm pretty hesitant because of Bitcoin's positioning is at the like a local point of control, and like it's not really normally it's not safe to trade Bitcoin during this scenario, this close to a point of control. But if Bitcoin like confirms a move to the upside, then maybe we could use Solana as our primary tool of entry. Like I wouldn't want to trade Bitcoin around here, but I would like to trade Solana around here. But with Bitcoin's positioning, it does suggest that we could rotate down further to like its valley area low. And if Bitcoin comes down to this area again, then Solana is likely going to keep coming down to our other area of interest right here. And this area would provide us better R&R, give us better distance away from the VWAP. When you start to deviate away from the VWAP, it in itself is a form of confluence when you get far away from it, because it kind of acts like a magnet to draw price back to it. That's why like some people will have multipliers added to their VWAP for confluence. You can like turn on a multiplier like this, and you could see like the 2.5 multiplier, which is used a lot for Fibonacci traders. Could be great for some confluence for a long into the VWAP. But yeah, so that there's a good game plan for today. It's basically if you're not in a short, you're waiting for a long. And if you're in a short, then you're waiting for the long conditions to tell you to get out of it, right? Whether it be here or whether it be down here. There was a lower time frame SFP up here, I believe. Yeah, like a little one here. That also swept a previous high level over here. I have whenever you see these orange dotted levels, it means it's a wick from a previous zone that could give us a legacy SFP. And we have this wick right here that was swept at 205. And we hit that previous valley area high from this valley area right here, which is the main corporate, like the main problem was the POC from that level that was giving us a hard time during our active like SFP from yesterday. But yeah, so I'm gonna be patient and hopefully we get that change of character reaction around these lows. Where is my pathing tool? There it is. Okay, so something like this, right? And maybe the better positioning somewhere around here. We have our downturning momentum, the pace of the sellers. So we get that change of character, break of momentum. Our main little barrier concern would first start off to be the value area low and confluence with this supply concern we're building right now as we speak. Because we got that impulse move down, built a little bit of base. We're getting that move down again right now. So if we come up and return to this area, there could be residual buyers residual sell orders from this impulse move here, or trap buyers that might want to get out when we come back up to this area. So we have to treat this like an area of concern for a potential long. But when we get past it, then it'll act like a little barrier for our capital, and we're likely going to be able to move our stop loss to break even when breaching past this area. So I think unless Bitcoin gives us a better reasoning to jump in along down here, maybe through like an SFP on these wicks if we end up going lower. I think these are good spots too. Like the inverse scenario that we had on Solana, except this one's super legacy, like super like a lot older, whereas this one's a little bit more local on Bitcoin because it's within the active value area and not within a previous one from the past. But yeah, so I'm gonna actually update the fixed range volume profile poll because last time we updated was last night. Let's see. Boom. Yeah, we crept up yesterday. We got above the value area high. We talked about a couple potential things that could occur when we got this retest to this momentum level. I got this break of structure after like retesting the equilibrium points and the POC that we could run up as high as 121,300. But to be worried about any bearish reactions to this supply concern. And we got a double top change of character reaction right here. And that pretty much told us that, yeah, we're not coming up there. We're going to start coming down. We lost the momentum, the local momentum here, the internal one. And now we're coming down once more. Let's see if we end up getting that lower low. If we get below the point of control, then we're likely just going to rotate down to the value area low. If we instead get a bounce at this point of control, maybe break this neckline, get above the VWAP, we could start seeing it return back up to these highs again, and maybe go range bound between the point of control and that high here. That's basically like one or two scenarios. I prefer if we went down lower so we can get better R&R for our setup. Because I wouldn't want to trade. I wouldn't want to trade around here. There might be trade opportunities, just not ones that I particularly like to take. This is technically not valid yet, but right now it's roughly around here. Let's update these a little bit because these aren't in line with our zone. Let's just fix my OCD basically. There we go. I see. Oh, Sterling starred stuff. It's easy to see. Okay, cool. I didn't know you could do that. I believe we're getting into a bit of a pullback. Yeah. See what this is the one I'm like mostly excited for is Solana. It's just more picture perfect structurally for a long. So if we get down there, let's wait for that change of character reaction, break of momentum, and then hopefully ride it all the way up to the value area high again. But again, we'll have to watch those barriers along the way. This supply zone that's currently being built, the previous point control that's been a headache for us, and the VWAP. So once we get up around here, that's when we'll start to see potential struggle. And if we get that opposing change character, we should by then have a 1 to 2, depending on what our stop loss looks like. Can you take a peek at Karma, please? Good moment to add to your bags. Let's take a look. I had to pull it up on Dex Screener. So Karma is less than 1,000 transactions away now to being listed on CMC, like CoinMarketCap, which is a great like organic growth platform for exposure. The Karma has gone up. Sorry if my deck screen looks a little weird. I have a system that makes things basically darker for my eyes, and sometimes it messes with the UI of websites and stuff for a brief period. But yeah, Karma right now is building another double bottom. It's one of its favorite formations when we're back down at this valley area low. And got one internal to a large one here. We had a run up of about 44%, but we're consolidating now against this area. We had a couple sellers get out. They might have been trapped in this area. I'm not sure. But just know when you sell your karma, you give up the rewards that you receive from it as well. Because every transaction that occurs, you are receiving a private airdrop into your wallet. But yeah, so with karma, what we'd want to see is obviously a break above this neckline. And they see it how it acts as support, or maybe just run through it because it is a low trade participant asset. There's only 2,200 holders. So you might not see that type of retest or anything like that. It might just blast right through it. This being another supply concern right here, we have been combating this one, right? So those trap buyers or those people that with weak hands are getting out again here. And the next area where you got to worry about potential weak hands is around here, around 0.07, like 7 cents. If you get past that, then we could start seeing get back up here again around 11 cents, which is about close to a 2x from, well, it goes up to 12 cents here, is high. It's about a 2x from where we are. And there is some potential trap buyers up here. So just be aware that when we get up there, we might see some more turbulence again, like we did last time. But this little drop here got rid of a handful of whales. So a lot of whales got out here. So if we get up there, we do drop and we lose whales and we got more smaller holders, it's still a win, in my opinion, for karma if we lose some whales here and we get more smaller holders, because we'd have less people with large impact over like karma's price. But that's karma. I hope that helps you out. That's the most TA you could pretty much do for an asset like this right now until we get to around like 100,000 holders. Can you please do you think a pullback or retest on chain and Ethereum is possible? So let's see. Let's pull up Ethereum. Okay, we got a separate value area that we can pull here. Okay, let's delete. Oh, this is a structural value area high. Okay, so I was about to delete this, but I'm gonna keep that there. It's a pretty big deal. So we hit supply concern that we were worried about over here. And honestly, it's like the last one before 4,000. If we get above this orange line, it's just like about $30 below 4K. This is like alt season behavior breakout kind of stuff here, right? But we came back up to like a really strong supply barrier, which is like the final boss before being able to retest this again. We are seeing Ethereum in a descending channel. We can adjust this trend line a bit now that things have kind of adapted. This level here, if broken, could help us like see price action come up to retest this area again. Didn't really expect for it to break in that kind of behavior, but we had a retest to that point of control, and then we just tumbled down ever since. So I'm just going to redirect this trend line to be more in sync with the channel behavior. And this descending channel here. We might even build a falling wedge back down to the structural point of control. We'll see what happens. But doesn't look like there's an apex, right? The apex for something like this is like the behavior is basically telling us that we're not really getting a squeeze. So we'll just have to take each key level, like this previous point of control, this previous value high, this demand zone right here. And we're using that right now as support. So if we lose this and we have it act as resistance, we can expect rotation down to this value area low, where this next little demand zone is. So that's like the bearish case scenario. So we could get that retrace, but we need to see evidence of it first, right? Like right now, we are getting some evidence of resistance at the local value area low. So if we get that break below this area, we can get that simultaneous break below this point of control and a confirmation of resistance to the value area. You see how we get all these lows, we don't have any like lower low created every time we come up to it. So we didn't have it honor the form resistance. Whenever you see a break of structure like this, it's a point of confluence to tell you that price action could be moving back down to a previous value area. Same thing if we had like proper support up here with a higher high, you could anticipate that we'd be moving to a new value area above us. We're basically, if you were to visualize these two value areas, it's almost like we're in an apartment building where we could be moving up to like the next floor, right? Or if we get that rejection, we could be moving down to the next floor. And we're kind of like trapped between 3 floors right now. But the great thing about this is that it gives you so much data to be able to make a decision off of. Like if you see that, if you entered along here, for example, we get that maybe there's an SFP or maybe there's a change of character reaction and we get a movement up to the value area high, then you can wait for a specific behavior to tell you to get out or to stay in and get a trade, like a extension to your target to the next value area high, while always being mindful of all the point of controls in all these scenarios. But I think it's definitely possible that, yeah, Ethereum could get that rotation down. If we come back, if it's just to the point of control, I mean, not the point of control, to the value area low, I would expect us to sweep these lows if we came down this low, but you can look at the buyer's momentum behavior and anticipate how we might get a bounce around here. But yeah, it looks like alts have some relative weakness against Bitcoin right now. Like their positioning is mostly they're already at their value area lows, right? They're already down at these lows, whereas Bitcoin is just approaching its value area low now. So some of these altcoins are going to lose their value areas or deviate away from them as Bitcoin approaches its, right? So this could give you a visual indication that Bitcoin dominance might be up right now. Let's pull up Bitcoin dominance really quick. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance is up right now, and it's going up. So you technically don't need this chart. Just so you guys know, like you technically don't need this chart if you're able to identify the small little differences between altcoins and Bitcoin, like individually, right? However, this chart is obviously helpful. I'm just saying, like short term, like you can kind of give yourself like there's a bunch of other indications that the chart is going up or going down. It's all based on relative positioning. Like is Bitcoin's currently at the point of control, everything else is at the low, the value area low. So so is it better for them when I buy 100,000 instead of? Well, you can't. There's no futures options right now for Karma. So luckily, I won't let you melt yourself there. You think Ethereum might fall to the previous value area? I kind of agree, man. Yeah, it's already kind of giving us evidence of that. We're getting that break of structure now. So we can get that follow through to the value area low soon. There is like a couple little areas where we consolidated for an impulse move up. little zones of interest. But the main core area of interest is right at the value area low itself. So I could see Ethereum getting that full rotation down. As long as we don't SFP, basically, I think that we can get a good move down. Let's see what happens. But yeah, it does look like Bitcoin dominance is going to do well today. Okay. Let me scroll up here because Sterling has highlighted some messages to make things easier for me here. With the VWAP retesting at every session, would anchored VWAP be more accurate? Anchored VWAP is great for a couple of reasons. You can isolate data with the anchored VWAP. And honestly, isolating this trend right now would be almost redundant. So you can isolate trends. Like if you see, let's say, for example, a bearish change of character, you can start pulling a anchored VWAP from this high to where we currently are to see the volume weighted average of the trend, and it kind of can help assist you in building rules of when that trend is going to end. And same for like a bullish change of character. Once you see one occur, you can start pulling like an anchored VWAP from the low, similar to how you would pull a Fibonacci from like the low point or the high point. Except it'll do the rest of the work for you. You don't have to like find a high, right? It'll just start pulling from that area. So like anchored VWAPs are great for isolating monthly data, weekly data. It's great for isolating trends, whether it be short term like this one or longer term like the daily trend. And it'll help you identify like key areas that you could use for your targets, for entries, and all that fun stuff. So how I would use the anchored VWAP for those who are new, over here on the left-hand side, where you'd find your long and short position tool, you just click on that. And like for this example, we can isolate the trend. We're going to click on this high, and you can see we have this little anchored VWAP here. And that's why I said this one's kind of redundant, because the daily candle reset pretty close to the same point where we got this high from the from this high here at the start of this downtrend. That's a great question, though. It does make things a little more accurate when it comes to like detecting breaks of trend. But yeah, the regular daily VWAP is incredibly important to watch. There's bullish CBD divergence for Solana. Oh, nice. Yeah, just got to get the structure. That's all we're missing, really. Come back down to these areas here. We are breaching these lows right now, so we might expect some turbulence. But I'd like to see this liquidity taken. It would be really awkward for us to reverse here and not take this liquidity that's right here. If we look at like the liquidation heat maps, you'll know what I mean. We'll have to probably pull it up on the 48 hour now instead of the 24 hour. So click on, so on coinglass.com, you can go to liquidation heat maps over here. Click on symbol, then you're going to start typing in Solana. We're going to switch to the 48 hour. We see we got, well, we did see, it then left. What happened there? We just switched to the 24 hour and switch back. It looks like that extension's messing with my stuff. Let's refresh. There we go. That looks like it's supposed to look like. There's Solana. 48 hour. Yeah, down here. Yeah, run 192. We got about $80 million worth of liquidity from the lows here. Right, that piled up. So it would feel like you're trading on a glass floor if you don't wait for that hopeful sweep down here, at least first, right? Solana had SAP. Yeah, Solana is, yeah, it's a, you mean like a low time frame S&P, like locally? Like again, like I said before, I'm not going to trust anything unless we sweep this. So I'm going to wait until we have that structure. Hopefully on the 15-minute, but we'll see what happens. Cardano, please. Spot bought at the GC yesterday. Thank you. Yeah, we could look at that. Cardano. I got about 25 more minutes, guys. And then I got to do a call with the community. Oh, we went to 93 cents. Nice. We just lost that momentum that we drew yesterday. A harsh reaction. So we had this little head shoulders structure here. Our change of character reaction here on the 15-minute. And then we had an inducement of liquidity taken from that low, caused a bounce. I bet that was a gold pocket. No, it was not. But we got that bounce. It came down, lost momentum here, lost a key level here after bouncing off it initially at first. Now we're back at a previous value area high. We have this value area, previous value area data here. We'd had a little bit of a bounce through it before in the past. Came back down, used the point of control as support. Yep. We'll see how we respond to it here. But I would like to see, like, if you're looking for a position for like a long or anything like that, I'll be patient with Cardano. It's a little bit of a slippery fish. So if we come down, I'll be looking around this previous value area low here at 78.79 alongside this little demand zone here. And if you visualize the liquidity, the order flow, every one of these breaks of structure, there's likely liquidity resting below it in the form of stop losses, in the form of liquidation levels. So yeah, just be a little patient. See how we respond to maybe this lows here. This is also technically a good spot here, but I would like to see some strong price action structure before trusting this level. You said you bought some. We had we were talking yesterday about, well, not yesterday, about a week ago, about this valley area. If we see it act as support, we get the higher high, we can get carried up through here. We tend to get these violent moves to $1 up here. And this is like the first time where we didn't just rush our way up to that dollar and start to come back down again. So it's between these, the 76 level and the dollar level here, where we get these usually fast-paced moves up or fast-paced moves down. So if we consolidate here, it would prevent this kind of fast-paced movement from happening again in the future. So it would build more structure, less volume gaps. So I would say you could box this zone around here. Or you could box this zone around here. These are great, both great areas, but again, I want to see strong structure here to define an entry before trusting it. How to buy Karma. So like I'd say the easiest way, especially if you guys are new to the like if you're new to like decentralized cryptos before they go into like a centralized exchange, I'd say the easiest way is to go directly to the website. It's karmatoken.org. You click on buy here. And what this will do is it will automatically put in the output currency in the URL to have it already imported for you, so you don't have to like figure out how to import a buy and stuff like that. When you're importing assets, it normally means it's a young asset and it's not even at the point where it's um, known to like PancakeSwap to be listed, and it can't be known until it's on CoinMarketCap. So once it's listed on CoinMarketCap, then we'll see the logo here. You'll see it in the list of assets to buy, right? Because that's where they're pulling their data from. That's where PancakeSwap gets these logos and gets the price aggregators too. So you'll be able to see a lot of like more data appear here once it gets listed on CoinMarketCap. It's a little I don't like that so many of these dexes depend on CoinMarketCap's APIs and CoinGecko's APIs to reveal this kind of data when you can just technically just why not create a smart contract solution, right? That could solve that problem. Like that, I feel like that's an easy problem to solve. It's no different than minting an NFT, right? You can have like an NFT minted on chain. You can have your logo minted on chain, and then it'd all be connected to that same smart contract. I don't know. But yeah, that's how you'd go to buy it. You just go to PancakeSwap, put in your output data here. But like I said before, the website kind of like does all that work for you. And yeah, this will show you some data as well. We're doing a huge facelift to the website. We already built our own CMS system, so we can have a website hosted from us for free. Basically, it's pretty cool. And we'll keep all this cool data too, where it shows us like how many rewards that we gave it out in Karma from all the transactions. But we'll give it. We're gonna have charts that will show as well, like the burn rate and where to expect prices like strong valley area, all like a bunch of cool little data that will help assist you in knowing when it's the best time to buy or stuff like that too. I think it's on the crypto tab of TradingView as well. Use a DEX. I bought Karma on the BNB network. Nice. Hate using MetaMask for BNB. Yeah. MetaMask has gotten better for sure. Like the user interface has gotten a lot better. But I kind of agree with you. I know what you mean. Phantom is my favorite wallet. If you guys are familiar with Phantom, I kind of can't wait until they have like the Binance Smart Chain added to it. Does anyone know of any other solution? Oh, we could probably just make the solution ourselves, man. Like, as a community, we definitely have the resources to just do it ourselves. Why don't we just use ChatGPT and say, "Hey, bro, can you can you help us solve this problem?" Yeah. I think cashing out one of my stock positions gonna add heavily to my karma bags. Cool. You don't have to do something like that, man. But remember, it's a low market cap asset, so you can have a huge sway over the price action right now. But when the marketing kicks in, I guess it's a good idea to get in now rather than later. Could you take a look at CK for a macro analysis? CK. What on earth is CK? C-Sync. Macro. So we'll go to the daily first. There is no macro analysis. I can go through the daily and tell you like key areas that you need to worry about. Let's see. It's so it's looking like the other's dominance chart, so that's a positive. So we have this neckline here, this horizontal level resistance. in line with the 200-day EMA that just populated recently around January. So we can mark this level. If broken and act as support, it'd be great confidence for a position of strength. So if you're already in a position and this breaks, then you will be in a position of strength on the macros in the macro sense. We have a daily order block on along our way that we are currently slightly undercutting with the lower time frame regression trend. And this regression trend could result in a correction down to the 50 EMA again before potentially continuing up to the 200. We have supply concern here. We also have a daily order block that populated. So like right now, it's in a great uptrend internally. It just needs to break that high around here. And based on the momentum, it is suggesting it could take a little while unless we have a high volume reaction up. It could take up to 28 days. The next area of concern after we break this area would be here, a supply concern here, a little one above it too. So we have if you're thinking about this in stages, we have basically have 3 bosses before you can start getting into the top here again. This is going to be the main little thing before the game even starts. So it's kind of like the macro. Unfortunately, it's not very much because it's just a young asset. There's not very much price action. It was just recently in price discovery until we swept this low here and we got some, looks like the liquidity was used to help buyers get in and drove the price up a bit. We got a daily change of character. So we flip bullish. You can mark our levels if you'd like, get our zones drawn. And just do that along the way up. And they have, let's zoom in on the lower time frames to see how it's behaving. So we got, like I said before, is a bit of a regression trend. You got this ascending resistance and ascending support. It's giving me the similar vibes as Cardano, actually. But we have 2 valley areas kind of merged, interacting as one. We'll just mark the primary one here. We're at the valley area low. We have this little demand zone right here that's been holding us up. It's more than halfway mitigated, so it's a lot weaker. So we could come down and sweep this low right here. And if we get an SFP off that, then you could potentially see the next strong high be under attack during that moment. Currently, the active strong high is here, but I'm assuming that we could actually get a pullback first before coming down, grabbing that somewhere along the line. If we don't, then we will invalidate. We probably won't have a good SFP structure basically to define a safe target. If we got the sweep here, we got the SFP early, then this would be my target. We got the point of control here, the VWAP here, an hourly order block here, and supply barrier here. So lots of reasons to be concerned. At least on the first retest here, it's likely going to cause a pullback. Let's just be aware of 0.0694. But if we get that break of structure for a continuation and we lose this value area and we fall back into this one, I'll be watching this uptrending momentum in confluence with the 50-day EMA right here. This area could be a good zone to prepare for potential long. If you get the price action structure to define the safe long based on the momentum, if we are going to come down that area where the apex point meets, it could take up to 2 days. But that is ZK. I hope that helps you out. Let's go back to the watch list here. We got about 15, a little less than 15 minutes before I got to head to the next call with the community. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Close this pan. So, okay, Bitcoin is heading down slowly. Let's see. This is the hourly time frame we're looking at. Let's zoom in on the 15. Yeah, we need to get below this point of control. I want Bitcoin to be in a good position around here, get some bullish structure so we can have some confluence with Bitcoin falling up alongside Solana. Solana is right now is leading the race down. We just swept that liquidity that we were worried about here. So now we just got to wait for a structure. And if this starts to slow down, as Bitcoin drops, by the way, then I can guarantee you that the others dominance chart will start to go up and the Bitcoin dominance chart will start to go down, right? So you can memorize what I said and you can say, Kyle told me that if this slowed down and Bitcoin dropped, then dominance will start to fall on Bitcoin. Can we look at OM? OM, I'm curious about that. What's the name of the bull bear indicator at the bottom? It's called RSI Just type in the word divergence when you're searching up an indicator, and you'll see RSI divergent indicator. There's no creator. It's by TradingView themselves. It's lazy mode RSI. It does the exact same thing that RSI does, except it will also draw bearish and bullish divergence. It doesn't draw all of them, so don't count on it to do its job 100% of the time. But it does do like a pretty darn good job most of the time. And it will wait until it confirms before it gives it to you. So you won't get like, you might see divergence forming with your eye, right? Like from here to here, but it won't like populate on the charts until like a low is broken, right? So it won't, it'll wait until it's actually confirmed basically before it actually puts it on your chart. Should I close link USDT? I'm already in a profit off your trade signal given 2 days ago. You're a genius. Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad you're making money off of it. I lost money on that trade. I was too aggressive with my stop loss. But so should you close link trade? That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look that up really quick. See, this is how I got stopped out. So my original stop loss here, I evolved it when we got the break of structure, and yeah, got knocked out. So I'm glad you're in the profit. You're in a good spot. You're in a really good spot. So if you look at the valley area that we just left, we had it act as resistance. We lost our little demand zone, right? So we can delete that. Because now it's a supply concern. So this is now a little guardian for your capital right here. If we breach past this, then you definitely want to get out for sure. Template short. We also have a point of control there, protecting your capital. Now we're coming down to this previous valley area low. This is where our original target was, right here. So look at Bitcoin's positioning. It could keep falling down to its valley area low here, right? And alts are getting punished right now. They're dropping harder than Bitcoin is, right? So as Bitcoin approaches the valley area low, Chainlink has a lot of what's called like pairing liquidity with Bitcoin. And for those of you who are not familiar with pairing liquidity, it's basically the first liquidity for assets to allow people to swap between two different tokens. And Chainlink was smart because back in the day, they didn't choose like a stable coin. They chose an asset that can keep appreciating in value for their liquidity. So they got like a bunch of free liquidity as Bitcoin appreciated in value, right? So because of that, Chainlink moves relatively closely alongside Bitcoin. And so if Bitcoin keeps dropping to its value area low, then Chainlink should do the same and meet where our original target was. And there's quite a bit of liquidity down at these lows, so we might even sweep these lows first. But man, like I would extend your target to, you got one barrier concern here, but after that, this is your primary target. And you can move your stop loss right here because that's your invalidation point. If we break past that, then it's kind of game over for the short right now. So you can move your stop loss to like $19 relative to your exchange. Of course, it might be a little bit higher, might be a little bit lower, but you could use this high here as your stop loss guard. So now you can secure your profits. So if we got a random crazy candle go to the upside here, you at least secure your profits. You should always assume that a whipsaw event could happen, right? Always assume that we could have a giant green candle at any point. Just basically your priority should always try to protect your capital. Yeah, so I'd remove your stop loss there. If you get an opposing change of character around here, I'll listen to it and get out. But overall, I'll be targeting down there. Congrats on your gains, man. What alts are you holding for the next coming season? Right now, it's just RWAs, like Ondo. Chainlink is my second biggest bag. I got Ethereum, of course, but I've been holding Ethereum since $400. I got not very much of it. I got like 4 Ethereum. But today, that's quite a bit of Ethereum. Like back then, it wasn't. Those are my main ones. I am like researching a bunch because I feel like there's opportunity to grow. Like there's some like 10x opportunities for sure. On HBAR, I'm holding HBAR. I feel like I'm not holding enough of HBAR, but I'm holding it. And I'm not very cash liquid, guys. Like everything I have is pretty much in Bitcoin. So I depend a lot on my trading in order to buy assets and stuff like that. I have like $100,000 account for swing trading. I'm giving up about 70% of that to get into mining. Litecoin could be a good one too. It all depends on when Litecoin breaks that like 128 level, of course. There's a bunch of assets that I could recommend, but yeah, those are basically all the ones that I'm kind of holding. My biggest losing asset right now is Atom, ATOM. It's pretty close to break even now, but I've been holding it at a loss for a while. So I got accidentally trapped in a staking situation, so I couldn't like sell reactively to like certain opposing problems with the price action. Okay, I'm kind of running out of time here. Caliber, I'll see you probably in the live, so I'm going to pick a V-Sing here for his TA. Oh, thanks, Sterling. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, guys, I lost a lot of subscribers yesterday because I deleted a whole bunch of bots that we were like kind of attacked by yesterday, and they all unsubscribed to me, so I got no more bot followers. But yeah, subscribe. It helps a lot. Grow the channel. I wonder how that impacts the algorithm when you like get rid of the bots on your account, if it like impacts your reach and stuff like that. I doubt it, but yeah, let's look at hype really quick before I gotta go. So hype, we looked at this a couple days ago on the 18th. We were looking at, looks like this bullish case scenario here. We had this level that, oh, okay, this was a private thing I was helping someone with. We had a member, like not a member, but someone in a subscriber that needed help trying to get out around here. He's kind of trapped with a crazy large position. And if we broke this level, then we could prepare for like a move back up to his zone there. But yeah, when we broke that level, we ended up coming back up to supply concern. And now we're coming back down to our little demand zone on hype. Hype is in a huge run here. It's consolidating at its all-time high off of a previous high as well. So right now it's kind of a zone of rest. Like we want to see it consolidate. The longer it consolidates here, the better for hype, because that would tell you that people are exiting and new people are coming in, and it's stabilizing as all that is happening, right? If the sellers end up being stronger than the buyers, of course we're going to go into a downtrend, right? But if the buyers hold up this level as people are selling, it stabilizes the price, it resets, and allows kind of like Hype's version of the REPL chart to start to reset as well, allowing it to have a stronger continuation up as it stacks liquidity above its price action. We could delete this. It kind of like we had the purpose of this is if we saw it break to the upside, we could see it potentially rotate to the upside. But of course, you got to watch your zones that could interrupt that ability, right? Went halfway through this zone here, and then we started coming back down. We could pull a fixed range. We have one right here, but that's pretty local now. We can move it back, and then we move this part forward. We have a little bit of double distribution right here and here. I say a little bit because you want to kind of see them balanced alongside each other before you would call it double distribution. But basically, this just tells us that there's two big areas of interest where we could consolidate and move quickly between. Right here's the volume gap or valley. We move quickly between this area, and we consolidate, move slowly in these areas. There is, of course, a valley area within the valley areas. Like there's one here, 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 and an awkward one here. We're coming back down to this demand zone. If we see, like, and draw like newly formed momentum here, suggesting that we could range a little bit longer, as long as like maybe 6 days, a low volume crunch. Let's see what happens. This is a key level that you do not want to have broken. If this breaks, we see it act as resistance, then I'll be looking at the 50-day EMA. Confluence with this little zone here. The 50-day EMA might catch up before we're coming down to this area and causing a bounce. Is that the 50-day? Just make sure. Yes, it is. Okay, it's the day. I just want to make sure it wasn't synced to the wrong time frame. And this could take a few days to catch up. But yeah, this is a good spot to prepare for potential opposing change character and start targeting at around here. You would treat the value area low as a potential barrier. Acceptance into it and a break of this momentum could be good confluence to prepare for a continuation to the value area high. Same reason why we'd had to prepare around here. We now have to repair around here. We have a little bit of a order block here, but I'll be more afraid of the point control compared to this. This looks relatively weak. This actually looks decently strong. So I'd mark this zone here. I got to go, guys. I'm over time. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I have to head out. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I appreciate everyone who's been liking, subscribing, following, sharing. But yeah, you have a great day. Reach out to me in the Discord if you need any help with anything. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Yeah. All right, cool. Bye, guys.